Hey guys, this is Juniper 9211 coming at you with another Dark Magician deck profile. So, what's going on is I would consider this to be a God hand, meaning that no matter what your opponent does, you are going to do what you want. You're looking at 2 or 3 Ash Blossoms in the same turn, something like that. They can negate you from attacking or a draw lock bird, meaning you can't draw any cards. So it's not necessarily the good cards that they might be playing that you make you lose. It's more necessarily the execution of the cards that you have on top of all the negations that they do. So it's a good example. You guys let me know also if you like the background music or if you just want the typical song that the game comes with. In the past, some people have requested for me to shut up a little and let the background music play. So you guys could give me comments. It's fine. So here we go. You know how we do it. So you guys keep up. So there we go. We got ourselves our hand, a rod, Dark Magician Girl, Ref, Circle, and we got an Apprentice. So this is the outdated 2020 version because it's the one that I usually play. It's been doing good even against the new Dark Magician support. That's why I play it. So you can select the Dragoon, or you can build the field to where you have your Circle, Eternal, and something on the field. You're gonna have your Magician's Rod, and there's ways to get a Dark Magician and a Dark Magician Girl in the graveyard and get the Soul Servant. So this is all sounds like a wonderful plan, but it doesn't always work out like you want it to. So we're gonna go and see what we can do with this hand. So as you can see, he's special summoning, activating effects, and we drew into a Soul Servant, and into a Magician Souls. So the question here is, can you pull it off with him? You're restricted to an attack because he's going to negate it, and who knows what cards he has in his hand to, this is what's in his graveyard, to make you brick. Because you don't necessarily have to have a brick hand to enter into one. That's why a lot of people lose, because they start with a good hand, but then your opponent makes you brick. So let's see if we can do it here. Discard, special, draw Dark Magician. So they play draw Lockbird. So draw Lockbird. So there you go. So now you're not allowed to draw any cards. You're not allowed to draw any cards, right? Are we on the same page? So you can't draw all the cards you were gonna draw because we had a God hand. So a lot of people start thinking, oh well, they're even though the hand was a God hand, now one turned into a brick, because he's gonna be able to negate one of your attacks, and then he might be negating some of your draws. But at this point, the draw on Lockbird, he's already negated everything you did regarding drawing. So you might see your hand as a brick. I do not see my hand as a brick. My hand is still good, and I'm still thinking of the future. I'm thinking I can't draw, and it might stop some negations. So how do I bait the negations on top of the already active negation of an attack and the multiple negations of drawing? You might argue and say it's not a negation, during the Yu-Gi-Oh game, it might not be called that, but it is a fact that you are being negated into drawing cards from your deck. So as a technical standpoint, you are being negated because you're being stopped. So you have to remember, just because you went through that and your hand's bricked and you can't go through an attack, that doesn't mean that that's the end of it. There could be much worse coming your way. So did you make a route A, route B, and route C? Did you do that? So as for me, you can say, oh, you already started off playing cards and you didn't play the ref. You didn't play the ref. You're going to lose. No, you lose because you don't understand the concept of getting ref in your hand does not mean you lose. When you get the ref in your hand, either discard it or get rid of it. But the ref itself is worthless to you. And contrary to 99.9% of Dark Magician players which believe a ref in your hand is bad, I will show you the 1% that you are wrong. Dark Magician, special Dark Magician. We got a Dark Magician and Dark Magician girl now. Link. And he enters, I enter into Inmuk, so he discards to negate. He might have jumped the gun, which is called the mistake, and he negated the effect of a monster. And guess what? That's exactly what we needed, because after that we link, and guess what we do? That's right. You got Dragoon on board now. And you can pop 2. So, and you got Dark Magician. Dark Magician go in the graveyard, but we banished it. But it doesn't matter because we have one on our hand. Rod, and we got Circle. And do not be afraid to discard the ref for Dragoon on the next turn. Who knows that if we play the Circle on the very end, you might end up pulling the Eternal. And this is gonna be game. Destroy, and he was aware that we have another onboard destruction we can pop. Well, actually, because we didn't do the dragon, you might just have one pop, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna go ahead and attack, and he's gonna discard him, or send him to the graveyard. And then at the very, very end, we're gonna play our Circle and try to search. We're going to try to search for an Eternal. And if we don't, we might draw into Soul Servant. We can always stack. We can always stack an Eternal Soul, or just play it and stack it from the beginning. Or set it and stack it during this turn in case you can use it as a bait. Once he destroys it, it was a bait, and then it sets up your Eternal. And we are going to win. And the moment he realizes that and he sees the number of cards in our hand, surrenders. Did I prove my point? I had a plan A, which is 100% of Dark Magician players. Then I had a plan B, which is maybe 50% of Dark Magician players. And then in the very end, I had a plan C. The plan C, that's where you get into the low percentage of Dark Magician players, which is a handful only can do this. Everybody else with the same hand, they will lose. So you got A class players, B class players, and C class players. The C class, they lose with bricks because they don't know how to execute. And they lose with good hands that turn into bricks because they don't know how to execute. The people in the B level, they know how to go to A from plan A to plan B, but they don't know how to go to plan C. And then the people that are A grade, those people know what to do.